When you write your music, where do you draw the inspiration from?
I just draw the inspiration from real life, my experiences. Um, Sometimes I'll just be like, I'll just be thinking about something. You know how sometimes your mind just wanders,
Yeah.
and like you'll just have just a random idea, like, what if there was a song about such and such? And whenever I have those kind of like revelations, I always record it, or write it down, or just hold on to the idea, and then build on it whenever I find more inspiration.
Okay, so do you like to be isolated, or it doesn't matter
It
where
doesn't
you
really, it
are, you
doesn't
can
really.
just write
Ideas
music?
come like random times,
Okay,
like I could be driving, but the key thing is like when you have that inspiration, like to just actually document it.
yeah. It goes by though.
Right.
Like if you don't document it, you forget most of the time. For me,
It's sometimes
yeah,
sometimes you will, yeah, but if it's something that's really 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 like unique and like really really like stands out, and
yeah.
like if I just have the idea and it moves me, even if I don't write it down, I feel like later it'll come back,
Okay,
usually, but I don't like to like chance it,
all right.
because if I don't remember it, then I'll be mad.
Okay, so as far as the writing process, like like I said, like you don't like to isolate yourself, right? Or
Mm.
do you compose with your guitar, or you just write the lyric and then you go match it up with the actual instrumental, whatever?
It varies. If I'm gonna create by myself, it's gonna be on the guitar. But if I'm
Okay,
working with a producer or something, I might just guide the process of creating the melody, or they might even just already have a melody as far as the
the instrumental,
instrumentation,
yeah.
and then I'll just sing over it with whatever ideas come.
Okay, so what do you write about? You know, I know the women, the car, the
Uh,
clothes, and like, what
um,
is your main topic that you focus on?
I don't really focus on one thing in particular. I kind of just I try to tell an honest story, like something that I feel that people can relate to.
Okay,
And I try not to say the same thing all the time. Like, and even if I am saying sort of the same thing, I try to find unique ways to say
okay,
something that's been said a million times.
okay. So as far as your last project you dropped in May, right?
Mm.
Numbers.
Yeah, numbers.
What was the core? Is that a concept album or just random topics put together? Uh,
Numbers is a concept
okay,
album. It's I kind of feel like Numbers was sort of autobiographical, not in like a literal sense where it's like every story is true to form, like true to life,
okay,
but in a sense that it sort of sums up my life and my perspective, you know what I mean, and in a way where I try to generalize it and make it so other people can relate to
so
it.
why numbers to begin
And I
with?
call it numbers because um, it's kind of like up it's kind of like up until this point in my life I've sort of been on this like grind, on this rise,
Oh, okay,
and just sort of the idea of um, numbers sort of dictating sort of how you perceive your place in society,
oh, okay,
and kind of like that fight that everybody has to go through, and
okay,
that's kind of really the general theme of the album.
okay. So as far as the recording process, how does that go for you? Like, what do you have to have around you, uh, to create that great song in
Mm.
the studio?
Um, Definitely, I like to have other creative people in the room, like, cause like energy is real,
Yeah,
like if there's people in the room with good vibes, like the creativity is better, and people who are not afraid to tell you like, hey man, that kind of sucks, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So having like just real people, real talented, honest people around me all the time, and just positive energy.
okay.
Yeah.
So as far as let's talk about the voice, like, you know, for a little bit. Like, how did that come into play? 'Cause that's a big stage.
Yeah.
Like, what did that take you to be on that stage to begin with?
Yeah, I have been trying to be on like really any platform that would sort of get my sound, my music,
Yeah.
and my voice out there for a long time. So I had auditioned for The Voice a few times prior.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but I never made it past the open call audition the first few times, and then there was one time where they called me for like a not a private audition, but just like more exclusive. It wasn't like the open call where there's
Okay.
thousands of people, and I didn't make it that first time. And so recently they called me for that again, just out the blue. I guess they found my music on YouTube or
Oh.
Instagram or something. And this time, fortunately, I actually made it, and then just kept rising up in the ranks, and eventually ended up on TV and made it to the top 24.
Oh, okay. So it's not. So for looking at people on TV, it's not
Mhm.
just like a clear cut process. Like the way you're saying it. It
Mhm.
sounds like a very rigorous like process you have to go through to be on stage.
Yeah.
And they were looking for like the best of the best, I
Right.
suppose.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like the reality is like thousands and thousands and thousands of people audition.
Okay.
You know, but only like 48 people,
Oh, just
you know, get to actually be on TV.
Okay, so walk me through the actual like first time you walked on stage. Like how was that experience for you?
It was cool. It was
Adrenaline.
yeah, you know, like at that point I had sang that song a bunch of times, you know, so I was like, you know, I'm just gonna like just kill it one more time, and I was like, this is just 1 minute that that could change my life. It's important, but like, you know, I gotta stay focused, you know, and so I kind of just performed, and once you get on the stage, you realize there's real people here, you know, there's hundreds of people in the room, you know, in real life, you know, outside of the pressure and everything. So like, in my head, I'm just like, I'm just gonna perform to this room of people, and I believe that, you know, I have a pretty good voice. It got me this far, you know, so I feel like if they hear it, great. If they don't, it's not the end of my life or my career. So I just came out there and I just kind of sang to the people in the room. And fortunately for me, Adam turned within the first like few seconds of me starting
it was
singing.
very quick. When I watched it, was very quick.
Right.
And the other guys, I forgot his name. He kind of
Blake?
hesitated. Yeah.
Yeah.
The white
He
guy.
didn't turn at first actually, but he eventually stole me in the battles. But and so after Adam turned, it was like, okay, I can really just perform now because the pressure's lifted. Worst case scenario, no one else turns. I end up on Team Adam, you know, and I end up on Team Adam anyway, even though 2 other people turned because I chose Adam. So that's kind of was my mindset going through the whole thing, you know, just go out there and perform, you know, like I always do, you know.
And it shows that you were ready, though. That's what I always tell people, that you if you're looking at people doing great, it's not because of like just one night, like overnight thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a process the person has to go through to be able to sing like that. And for that, how did you develop your vocal ability?
I just sing a lot all the time, you know, and like I mean I feel like there's definitely a certain level of like natural talent and like, you know, just being born with some level of talent. But I've just been consistent after realizing that I had a gift, you know, and just growing and like nurturing that gift intentionally, you know, and also because I just love music and I love singing, so like I couldn't do without actually practicing and growing and becoming better. So yeah, just consistency really, and I've been doing this for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to your role models growing up, like what other artists are you looking up to right now?
Definitely looking up to. You said growing up or just right now?
Oh, in general.
Okay, yeah, I look up to people like Bruno Mars. You know, he's been able to cross like boundaries. You know, as an artist, like he can create music that everyone can connect with and relate to. And, you know, he's just a worldwide phenomenon, you know, and that kind of, like, talent and creativity is inspiring to me. People like Michael Jackson, you know, people like, you know, Drake's dope, Outkast, you know, Lauryn Hill, you know, people who push the boundaries of creativity, like Erykah Badu. You know, I could go on and on. There's just a lot of different kinds of people who have inspired me.
Yeah, as far as those names you just mentioned, like they're, like you said, they're very universal.
Right.
You know, their music like transcend like boundary. You know, go to every culture.
Yeah.
And all of that. So that would be a good look for you to kind of not to single, you know, your creativity into like to a certain, you know, population or a certain group, but like a very universal kind of approach to it. Because you're African too.
Exactly.
So when it comes to the Nigerian music right now, like what is your take on that?
I think I'm really proud of where Nigerian music and Nigerian culture in general has you know brought itself on the worldwide like stage. You know, I feel like people are paying attention now. You know, people listen to Nigerian music who aren't Nigerian. Nigerian music is on the radio, you know, so when I was a kid, that just wasn't a reality, you know.
Not right here.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's kind of cool to see, and it's freeing as an artist and a creative who is Nigerian, because now I can just create
Yeah.
as a Nigerian and understand that the world, there's a place for that
Yeah.
in the world itself and outside of just Nigeria. You know, so it's pretty cool because it allows me to open up my creativity.